All right, so guys, first I want to start off. I know Justin has a quick announcement. Justin, are you on? Where are you at, Justin Deal?
Right there.
All right, yeah, make that announcement as far as that basketball.
Yeah, so just a reminder. So Drew and I had posted stuff in the Harvest group. Wanted to give everybody first dibs there because I'm going to post social, on all social today. So reminder, the 25th, we're going to do a 3-on-3 basketball tournament. It's going to be at the Marlton Assembly of God. It's going to be at the Field House right next door. 12 to 4 right now is the time frame. We're going to do a random drawing, so you can't come with a stacked team. $25 per person. We're going to donate all that back to the church. Also bring your families. And this is going to be kind of an event to just spread what Harvest is about. So feel free to invite other people as well. We want them to get a vibe for what we're about as a group. So we're going to have probably a bounce houses there. We'll have food. So we'll have a room. So when you're in between playing, if you have a family, you can go back with the kids and you can play. And then they can kind of just be there with us. We can make a whole family day out of it. So one, if you want to be involved, make sure, look at the post today. Just let me know because we obviously need a head count. 2, please share the post today for anybody who wants to smoke and wants to get smacked on the basketball court. Happy to do so. But more importantly, like I said, so they can get a little vibe as to what we do here with Harvest, kind of see what the group's about around family and athletics. So
Awesome.
Share and get involved, guys.
All right, any questions, hit up Justin afterwards. And Andrew, Justin and Andrew are spearheading this event. Very thankful for, and this is going to be a lot of fun. And we're going to raise some good money for a great cause. Next, we're going to get into the housekeeping rules, and I'm going to go and introducing our speaker, how I met him, and how much value you guys are going to get today. And that's only if you execute, right? We can bring Tony Robbins in here, and if you don't execute, this means absolutely jack squat. So for the most part, our housekeeping rules. Remember, guys, try not to multitask, right? You're getting a lot of value here that can change your life, can change your business. It's already been proven for people that took an action. So there's really no BS you can say in your head. Do I plug in? Do I not plug in? Does it work? Doesn't it work? We've seen it time and time again. This all works. And these speakers are talking about things that work for them at a very, very, very high level. And just so you guys know, remember, there's a lot of people that solicit me to come in and speak to you guys. I protect the Harvest and only bring in high performers who I've seen have a track record, right? So please know that I am very intentional with who I bring into our world so you guys can get the most value, and we don't bring in BSers to try and keep it clean. Use the chat for questions. Remember, use the chat. Instead of you guys unmuting and jumping in, if there's a time where I can say, hey guys, you can unmute yourself, I'll let you know, but we want to try and keep this as smooth as possible and also give you guys some, chances to ask your questions. And then lastly, guys, listen, after this call, and hopefully you've been on all the other calls and even everything else, if you've been a member of this, I hope you guys understand the value that you're getting for this very low cost membership, right? So the reason why I go into this is when you get off this call or any other call, guys, remember, just be intentional with contributing back to the Harvest, right? You guys see how powerful this is as it grows. You guys are all doing business with each other. You're all making money with each other. Some of you are getting hired from each other. I mean, you guys are creating relationships. Some of you are losing 100 pounds. Some of you are, all these different results. Remember, guys, we talk about being contributors. And if you guys are seeing value in this community doing business, remember, be a contributor and add to the Harvest. Be intentional. For those of you that don't know, I know when we first started off, and this makes, all you guys are grandfathered into this, but for the most part, we originally started, it was $50 a month, membership raised to $100 a month. By this time next year in January, it's going up, right? So if you invite anybody in, just remember it's $100 a month membership, because some of you still don't know that. That's kind of when we started and up until we grow. So just know that in case there's any confusion there. But remember, just share it. You guys are going to get a lot of great information. Be contributors. And there's people that contributed to the Harvest that you're doing business with, right? So there's people on this call that because they made a contribution, you now got a piece of business from, or you now got hired, or you now got help from them, or you now got motivation and accountability from them, right? So don't be selfish and contribute, because the bigger this grows, you guys will not need to look anywhere else for business development, for friendships, collaboration, accountability, personal development, resources, nothing. So let's be intentional and be contributors. Now, let's get into it, guys. So for the most part, I want to share, for those of you that started in the harvest, the very first guest speaker that I brought on was a guy named Randy Garn. Now, for those of you that don't really kind of dig deep into the personal development, coaching, super high level entrepreneurial space, most of you didn't realize who that guy was and the power that he has. But for the most part, I want to share this past week, he actually just posted a picture. There is a lady who just came out with a book, and this will all tie together, so don't feel like I'm just bullshitting here. Her name is Jamie Lima. She wrote a book. She sold a company for $1 billion. And this past week, she posted a picture with Randy Garn on his birthday and said, I want to shout out to the coaches of coaches. This is a billionaire, guys. I had him on Into the Harvest, right? So I went to an event in New York that I invested. It was, at that point, I wasn't used to spending thousands of dollars for a weekend to invest in myself. So it was like my business coach said, listen, I want to invite you to this private thing. And I was like, shit, let me go in. And I was like, oh, shit, it's not cheap, right? But I exercised that muscle of investing in myself. And you guys know all the different scenarios that I bring to you, how I probably 10x that investment. But for the most part, Randy Garn was at this event. And guess who was also attending this with? He was attending it with our guest speaker, Nick Dougherty, right? So with that being said, I met Nick at that event. Sure enough, he ends up saying he's from Sewell. Through the stuff that I coach you guys on and connecting with every one of your connections on social media. And by the way, if you don't do what we coach you to do as far as brand yourself, if you're not visible on social media, well, none of this works. So I knew that I wasn't going to see a guy like Nick every single day. Right. So how can I stay top of mind for him? Well, that's where the thing that I coach on, virtual rapport, comes in. So connected with Nick, found out he was from Sewell. Next thing you know, let's just say a year goes by. Nick's following my journey. I'm following his. Next thing you know, I end up helping him get a penthouse in Philadelphia. So then I was like, wow, this is cool. Like I get to, now me and Nick's relationship grew a lot more. Then next thing you know, later on, he then wants to relocate out to New Jersey, Sewell, and I help him build it. Well, I didn't build it, but for the most part, I help him get a beautiful house built. And then our journey continued and our friendships continued to grow. And, through that, I then realized not only, Nick's huge background and the high level people that he'd worked with, like super high level influencers, companies, stuff like that, some of you may know, some of you may not. But I also realized the importance of when I worked with him and how I operate with him, guys. On our Deep Roots call, I was really, kind of talking about protecting your energy. And I kind of shared this with you guys too. But the one thing that I noticed about Nick is his discipline with learning how his self works, right? How to keep his energy levels high, how to keep distractions away from him. This guy is relentlessly disciplined with protecting his focus, protecting his mindset, protecting the negative people around him. Literally, he takes it to a very high level, which then contributes to all of his success. He obviously keeps his health very, very intentional. I do know that he's worked with he's been in martial arts his whole life. He's helped scale and grow a lot of martial arts gym studios and all that stuff. So what you're going to get from this call is, a lot about learning, for the most part, his journey, but he's also going to talk to you guys about how to be unstuck. Another thing that we're going to talk about is something I want you to write down is a word called Gamify, which if you're a leader or if you are a salesperson and you have a bunch of past clients, or, hey, you're trying to build your influence, the word Gamify can really grow your business, your influence, your brand, your retention in your company and your finances, your bank accounts. Your family, by the way, you can implement that. So that's what you're also kind of going to learn about on this call, and just the art of marketing and discipline for yourself so you can perform at a higher level. So with that being said, sorry for the long little commercial there, but I'm very passionate and I really want to coach you guys on what to listen to and what exactly you're going to learn from this. Because if you just go through the motions, like most people who hop on Zoom calls, you're going to leave the call. You're not going to write anything down. This is going to be kind of like another mental exercise to get you fired up for 2 hours, and you ain't going to execute nothing after. So I want to make sure that you guys know this is, and you're probably going to learn more, but these are the things to listen to. And when he drops nuggets, I will make sure you guys hear what he's saying, what's important. But for the most part, guys, write your notes down and take action on this stuff. So Nick, I want to thank you for coming on, my friend. And I want you to tell people just kind of a little bit about your background and journey to where you're at now.
Oh my God. Let's give Devin a hand, man. I mean, he's just on fire. Like, I love this guy. I mean, I want to join this group just to be around this. Like, honestly, like, no, I love the energy. Awesome job. So, and thank you so much, Devin. And it's so crazy. Like, I actually know people in this call. They probably are not expecting me to say this, but Fernando, I went to high school with him. I haven't talked to him in about 10 years. I saw Fernando on here. What's up, Fernando? We went to St. Augustine, our fellow hermit. And then
yes, you did.
What's up, man? How are you?
What's up, man? Good to see your face. I knew that was you.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. And also Sean Fagan, like it's Brendan Fagan's brother. I just can't believe he's on the call. Brendan, what's up, Sean? I was older than you in high school and everything, but your brother, man, just like one of the best dudes I know. Like hands
great
down.
guy.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't need to tell you that. He's a class act. He is a great kid. I mean, we're men now, but wow, just nuts. So it's good to see you, Sean. Tell your brother I said hi. And I want to kind of go a little bit backwards, guys, because Devin made me sound so good. Like he made me, it sounds great. I kind of want to take a step back and kind of just like tell you like a point where I was stuck. And this is really, I think, what a lot of people will relate to this. And then kind of talking about the journey of where everything changed and shifted and everything. So basically, what happened was it was about 12, 13 years ago. My daughter was in college going to the University of Sciences. She's now a pharmacist. Great job, Demi. I'm really proud of her. My mother-in-law, basically I was financially taking care of her and her daughter, who was 60 years old with special needs. I had a lot of financial pressure and burdens on me. And I was making a little bit over $200,000 a year, literally working 78 hours a week, living paycheck to paycheck. Like if the money wasn't, it was coming out as even making 20,000 a month, whatever, like it was going out so quick. And I was just like, how did this happen? Like I'm doing everything you're supposed to do. Like I work hard, I take care of my customers. I'm not just like slacking off, I'm working 70 hours a week, And what had happened was I just really knew that something that said, you need to get out of this environment. There's just for the weekend, like stop going in the office on Saturday and Sunday, like just go to an event or something. So I went to an event and I ran into a competitor, someone that I compete with. And for those who don't know him, his name's Michael Parrella. Okay. He actually was the founder of I Love Kickboxing. And what I really respected about him was when I explained to him, he was asking, hey, what are you doing, Nick? What are some things you're working on? This was a defining moment because I think sometimes like you surround yourselves around people that only tell you what you want to hear. And that sometimes is not the best for you. So I explained to Michael what I was doing. I was creating a marketing automation system called Mr. Marketer that I knew like that's what I specialize in is the back end of technology and making systems for people like on the back end. So when I showed him what I was trying to do, he asked me a question. He's like, I just want to know, like, who's writing the copy to sell this? And who's writing all the copy for this program to sell for their customers? And I literally had said to him, I said, yeah, I'm not sure. What do you mean? Like, I'm writing the emails. And he goes, yeah, I could tell it's not a professional, right? And I'm like, well, no, I'm not a copywriter. And he goes, it's not going to work. And I'm like, it was like, he's very polarizing like that. It's not what you want to hear. It's not going to work. So I invested 8 months on this, right? And I was like, well, what do you mean? Why isn't it going to work? He's like, your copy's terrible. This will not sell for anybody. It's going to be a disaster. And I was like, it really got my attention because when I was at this point, I'm the face of a technology company and I'm just told all the time, you're this, you're great, whatever. Like, so I kind of was attracted to that. I was like, wow, well, it's not going to work. That's not good. He goes, why don't you come to my mastermind? He's like, and just let's hang out for the weekend in Miami. So I went and I walked into this environment where, again, I thought I knew everything. And right away I sit down and he asked like 3 questions. He's like, who does this, this, and this? And I'm like thinking it's a good thing. And he goes, yeah, man, that shit doesn't even work anymore. Throw that shit away. Like, get rid of that shit. I was just like, damn. I was like, man. And I was like, wow, this is interesting. So needless to say, we started talking about sales copy and he guided me into copywriting, like with just several copywriters. Gary Halbert, I studied everyone you can imagine for copywriting. I've read everything you possibly can imagine. But he got me in that direction. And when we started that relationship, that bond, and him helping me with the things I didn't know, I like to say I went back to school. So here I am, I'm like about 37, 38. So back to school for me was, I actually, to myself, I said, I don't know anything about marketing. And here I am, I'm the marketing expert of a technology company. And I really am realizing, like, I don't know what sales copy is. I have limited training on persuasion and influence, right? I'm just a nice guy, but I don't understand the psychology behind it. I have no psychology background. Like, all the skill sets that this man possessed, he was showing me all the ones I was lacking. And a lot of people have a hard time with that. So I didn't. I realized that I'm stuck for a reason, and I wanted to figure out what it was. So when I said we went back to school, Michael and I started working together. We built a mastermind for martial arts schools and fitness gyms. He launched, obviously, the I Love Kickboxing, which he eventually sold. We have a new franchise with Damon John. It's called Bar 6. It just launched. It was actually about 30 days ago. We started the Facebook ad campaign, and we got over 1,200 members the first month. They're trial memberships. They're not full members. My marketing agency is the one that did that. We built all the funnels and all the advertising collateral. But that's kind of where we are now. This new brand had just launched, and the most incredible experience of that whole journey was, unfortunately, Michael being my best friend, my partner, he went through, I'm sure you know, a lot of people like this. He went through a very tough divorce, right? So I saw him pretty much lose it all, right? Like, you're talking about a $30 million a year company. I was there for it. It was very sad what happened. But the good news is, like, he's my friend. Like, we actually took a break from one another. That's why I moved to Philadelphia. Devin mentioned that the penthouse in Philadelphia, and then building the house here. But the point I wanted to go over was when I went back to school with Michael, right? The amount of money I invested, like, that's the big key here too. It's not cost, it's an investment, right? It's not like, if you look at things as a cost for your future, you're just already looking at the wrong angle. We were in the 100K mastermind for 3 years. 100K mastermind is with Dean and Joe Polish, Dean Graziosi and Joe Polish. Dan Sullivan and Russell Brunson are in it. They're not teaching. It's where they go. So Russell Brunson taught me how to do Facebook Live videos. Like, I learned the Facebook Live system, the masterminding with Russell Brunson. Dan Sullivan, if you don't know who he is, strategic coach, look him up. He's one of the greatest thinkers ever. He taught me some incredible principles of, really, like, I don't do anything that I'm not fantasize, like, that I don't, like, find fascinating. Like, Dan was the man that really helped me with that. Like, I don't do things that I'm not fascinated with. I delegate and just who, like, what he's famous for, turn the what into who. So whatever you need to do.
That is so important, what he just said. And we talk about this, right? And I just want to make sure that, I kind of there's a lot of things that he said right there, but you said Damon John?
Yes. So Damon spoke at our event about this. This is a really good entrepreneurial story too. Damon spoke at our event. He's so down to earth, really good guy. And when he came to our event, just like Grant Cardone, we had Grant Cardone speak at our event. We had several, Joe Polish, Randy Garn, all these guys. But when Damon was there, he travels with, like, his clan. So he has a couple guys, and they're these big guys, and they came up to me. They're like, "Is this a martial arts convention?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "No way." And I'm like, "Yeah, why?" And his friend, one of his close friends, goes, "I told Damon that there's no way this is going to be a joke, because all martial artists are broke." He goes, "How did you get so many people here?" And then I told him about, like, what we do. And I said, we help them with marketing and stuff like that. So then there was, like, he was a Kung Fu guy. And then after Damon was done speaking, we talked about the franchise, the I Love Kickboxing franchise. And what happened was, Damon had bought a product on Shark Tank from Cowboy Ryan. You can look this up. It's called Bar 6 now. But Cowboy Ryan broke his back, and he rehabilitated himself from using this bar from that bull riders, like the thing that before the gate goes up. This guy, they're crazy, right? So he sells this to Damon John on Shark Tank. So Damon sold it as an info product, comes to our event. Michael, he's a genius, right? He turned that bar now we're turning into a franchise. So the way it works is, like, we've already done this, but we have the one unit open in New York, right? There's, we're just doing really well. We have to prove that. Like, we have to make, we know what our numbers are, like, not a big deal. And then after that, you start filing for the franchise in all the states. So now, like, we're very careful. Like, even the things we made mistakes on, Devin, like, you better put your business in a trust, not some just like basic LLC. Like it would have saved us millions of dollars, especially Michael, because when you're a franchise and this it's tough, man. It's like if you're not protected, like we learned a lot. So even though it didn't sell where we wanted it to, Devin, or Michael didn't get what he wanted to, he still did really well. But he could have done a lot better. And having a trust is one of those things we could do. So yes, Damon is the partner in that franchise concept, and Damon's role would be, is helping people draw attention to it. My role is the marketing and getting members for the units. Michael is the one that creates all the systems. So actually, we're supposed to see him in the next couple of weeks, Devin, up at Blueprint & Co. It's one of his office space concepts in Manhattan.
It's awesome. So one thing too, I wanted to make sure and I've seen this in action, Nick, like he does not, if it's something that makes him feel negative or whatever, it's eliminated. It's either delegated or gone. And he says, I don't do things that don't fascinate me. Now, that may be a tough concept, and you may have a lot of head trash going through your mind right now, right? A lot of, I have to do this. I have to do this, or I can't stop doing this. Like, no, you can. It's just you got to have the fortitude to get after it, either make the change or delegate it. Like you can, but that's very, very, and that's life-changing right there. If you guys take this seriously, be fascinated with the stuff that you're doing or in the day in the life of your work, or try and delegate it. And I'm telling you, man, you live in this superpower that you probably never felt before. So I just wanted to highlight that, Nick. Sorry.
No, it's true. And like, be very careful, listen to how you speak to yourself, right? Because that's what's going to happen. So like, for example, when I say I only do things I'm fascinated with, that's on purpose, because I don't want to do things I'm not fascinated with. And I'll give you an example. Like when I was in Long Island or on Long Island, living there, I couldn't stand driving there. If you think there's traffic in this area, you don't even know what traffic is. Go to New York. Like it's apocalyptic sometimes, right? So I literally, like, I was so upset about driving, I stopped driving. Like Dan Sullivan got me, like I just got black Ubers everywhere. I just said, stop driving. I just did. And you know what, Devin? I got more done. I made more money. Everyone, oh, it's expensive. No, stick with things that fascinate with you and you'll make more money. Like, like keep doing the things that you hate doing and talking to yourself how much you hate it. You're going to get more of it. Like a book I would recommend is The Power of the Subconscious. Definitely read that book. It'll change your life. The Power of the Subconscious. Because whatever you're telling yourself, whatever, like you don't realize, like when you go to bed at night, like whatever you're telling yourself, like the subconscious doesn't care whether you meant it or not. It's going to go make it happen one way. It's going to make it happen for you, whether it's good or bad. So like you're in control of that. We're kind of tying into that now, like about being stuck and things like that. But yeah, Devin, real quick, I just wanted to go back. Like I invested a little over and continue a little over the 100K mastermind was 100 grand. So we split that. War room for several years, these hundreds of thousands of dollars in these masterminds. And the thing that I learned the most about masterminds, like, was this. It was the total opposite. And Dan Sullivan said this. What you all have to do in the mastermind is stop thinking about what you're getting from it. And you want to reverse the psychology and say, what are you giving to it? When you give to the mastermind, it's just like the subconscious. You get back. So like the more that you engage, I'm telling you, like, it's like, guys, I made the least amount of money in these masterminds, right? But I gave the most, so I got the most. Like I had people speak in my event. I did not own a $40 million company. Like when I went to these masterminds, I'm with Russell, Dan Sullivan. These guys could retire, like, and for the rest of their life. But it was what I gave. Like, like I didn't care who they were, what it was. Like I was always contributing. And that's the thing. It's like you go into it and you don't understand, like even the way your mind's thinking. Oh, it's not working for me. Well, how? Did you do anything? Did you contribute at all? Did you connect with people? Like the mastermind principle, guys, is phenomenal. Like it's like tapping into the mastermind principle like this. I don't know if you guys are doing it once or twice a week, Devin, but collaboration and what it's meant to do is get several ideas going in your brain. I mastermind 3 times a week with my clients. So it's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I explained to them the other most, you want to write this down, the most important mastermind is the one with your significant other, whether it's your girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, whatever, nowadays, whatever you call it, that is the most important mastermind. It will make or break you. Trust me. Yeah, so if you're getting along with your husband and your wife, or you're whatever it is, you'll do phenomenal. If you're a mastermind with them, if the mind is aligned, you will do great. The moment that starts going like this, you're just better catch yourself, because it's like you could be in denial. That is the most important mastermind relationship there is. So Devin, that's I just wanted to add that. And basically, yeah, like when I went back to school, like I said, those masterminds, and flip the switch where it's like what am I giving to them? That was when I started getting the maximum like results. At first I was nervous. Like, you go into it's like going to dinner with 20 people. You ever notice when you sit down at the table, everyone's kind of like nervous and no one's really saying nothing. So I would go to the masterminds, and the first year, honestly, like I was afraid to say anything. I was nervous, you know what I mean? And then I don't know, Dan Sullivan said that one day, it was the second year, about the $100,000 a mastermind. And he was explaining to us, it's like, imagine you just dropped $100,000 and the person says, hey, listen, it's not about what we're going to give you. It's about what you're going to give us, and it's like, but when you really deeply think about it, it makes the most amount of sense. Yep. It's in any relationship. Don't worry about what you're getting. And if you talk about Randy Garn, like if you look him up or anything, there's no bigger giver than Randy Garn. Like Randy Garn didn't need to talk to me and Devin. When we were at that mastermind, Devin, he didn't need to talk to us. You know what I mean? It's like, and here I am on his birthday. He's sending me pictures of me and him at the Cowboys game. Like he's phenomenal. It's like because he gives so much.
Wasn't he like a bishop for like 400 people or something crazy?
He actually is a bishop in Utah, and he still actually works with over 400 families of every day to help them out. He's phenomenal. You know what I mean? And then the thing too, guys, at that point, when I unstuck myself, like from going to those masterminds, like what happened was every time I would get into an uncomfortable situation, this is really like one of my biggest tips I can give you. So now here I am, I'm learning all these skills, and I'm copywriting, all these different digital marketing, funnels, all these different things. Like coordinator of effort is the other one you should write down. Like the whole key to getting shit done is that you have to be a master of coordinating effort. If you're the one doing everything, you're not really getting much done. You're just a worker, right? So I had to learn all the skills so I can meet with the copywriters, I can meet with the website designers, I can meet with the people that are making the funnels, the emails, all this stuff. I had to learn all those skills. So that way, eventually I'm able to coordinate the effort of who has to do what. And I check on everybody. I hold the highest level of accountability for myself. Like my team, I just launched a software. I'm sure we'll talk about that. It is my responsibility now to make sure if every one of you are on my software, that I take you from point A to your setup and you are on the road. It's not up to the guy that works for me, even though it is his job. It's not up to the girl that does the setup calls. It's like, even though it's her job, it is on me. I hold myself at the highest level of accountability. So I check, I inspect everything. I inspect everything. That is really one of the most important things I could say, Devin. So when I learned how to coordinate all these efforts and to get things done, I started getting lots of opportunities with people, like and big companies and just entrepreneurs. But here was the coolest part, and this is the thing that I could tell you, like when you know how to generate your own money and you can make your own money, all those like even Randy wanted to do a project with him, but it was like I was working with him, but it was taking me away from my revenue. Like I don't have any worries because any of my worries are solved because I generate more money. It's that simple. Like I don't think of any expenses and where anything. There's an expression in the six-figure master or the 100K mastermind that Gary Halbert made famous. It was, writing yourself a swimming pool, right? Like I could create money out of thin air from my marketing prowess. Like if I have a product and I want to bring it to market, like if you could do that, you'll not have to worry about anything. So writing yourself a swimming pool means that you come up with a concept, you could launch it and make about 50 grand over the course of a week, recurring revenue. Like, like these numbers are possible. I've done it several times. So the thing with what I'm saying is I went back to school and I realized what's really cool is I don't need anybody. I don't need to hire people to make money for me. We make our own money. So that puts me in a different position. I could generate our own revenue. Like I am my own marketing company. You know what I mean? So when you don't know all those things, you're going to go through a lot of people. You're going to see like, oh, this one said they're going to do all these agencies and everything. Like my advice is like take an internal and own it and understand it. And because if you can't generate money for yourself, like, I think that's the biggest thing that I see paralyzing people. Like, it's like, I could wake up. It's like my wife, for example, I'm doing private lessons of Pilates. I just bought her a brand new, another Range Rover, and all these things came up all at once. She comes and I said, "What's wrong with you?" I sensed something at breakfast with her. She goes, "No, nothing." She goes, just I'm a little scared. Scared about what? She goes, "We're spending a lot of money this month." And I said, "That's all I needed to hear." And so she goes, "What does that mean?" I said, "I'm just going to go make more. That's it. Go make more money." Like that making money. Like, I'm sorry. Like, if you're a spiritual, mental, physical wreck, I can't help you with that. But if you have the mindset that you can make more money, you're not going to have stress and worries. So when you think about that, it's like, what is preventing you to have the skills to make money? Well, think about it. Like, do you know how to create a website, a sales converting website, a funnel? No, I don't. Okay. Do you know how to write persuasive text and copy? No, I don't. Do you understand like how to create differentiation? Do you know how to position? Do you know how to do a launch? When you have all those things, right, then you could, like, it doesn't matter what business you're in. It doesn't matter. Like, I was talking to Amanda, she's in the hospitality business. Any of these businesses that you guys are in, if you can make your own money, if you can get the market, right, you're not going to be in these situations going from agency to agency and trying all these different people all the time. You know what I mean? Like, no one will care as much as you. Like, we run ads for 80 schools, right? I don't ever look at the ads ever. Like, and they're paying me. Like, I have guys to do it, but I'm saying all those people, they can't do it themselves, right? Like, I can run Facebook ads, like, Google ads. So my thing, guys, on that is, like, you really got to get, like, that was one of the greatest things Michael taught me. One more story. We're in Beverly Hills. We used to go there's a mastermind there all the time. I kept going to Louis Vuitton store, right? This is like three or 4 months in a row. We were going back, and I wouldn't buy this bag, right? This was about 7-8 years ago, Devin. And Michael's, again, like, he really knows how to get you and to make you think. He stops me at the third time he sees me. He goes, "Why are you afraid to buy the bag?" He's like, "You're afraid of money, aren't you?" And I was just like, I don't know. I don't know. Do I really need that bag? And he goes, "See how you're already talking to yourself? Like, if you want the bag, right, then fucking buy the bag. Don't be afraid of buying the bag. But if you can't afford it, like, and you're saying that to yourself, you're never going to be able to afford it." So I was in that mindset then. I was in that mindset. Well, I don't know if I could afford it, or this, that, whatever. And he really helped change my mindset into the opposite. Like, it's like, I don't want to have that narrative with myself that I can't afford this, I can't afford that. Like, I want to just have the mindset, if I want something, I want to do something to earn it. I want to find a way to get it. So the three things, Devin, the stuck part. Like, it took me, when I mentioned when I was in, like, I felt stuck, I was making 200 grand a year. It took me a while. I didn't see it, but everyone around me was trying to like they saw me like in this stuck position. So number one is, like, a lot of times you're stuck and you're like, you don't even see it yourself. The second part is that you're in denial. Like, it's like you're being in denial of that you're stuck. Like, okay, well, here's the simple way to ask yourself, like, if we're talking about finances now, we're not talking about spiritual, right? Like, are you making more money like every single year? Are you making more money every single quarter? Like, are you stagnant? Like, it's very simple. There's a scoreboard. What's your bottom line? Like, it doesn't matter how much you're working. It's like, are you making more revenue? Like, one of the things that I would look into also, guys, just look basic books on growth hacking. Like, that's what you have to be. You have to be a growth hacker. So everything about what you're doing is growth. Like, that's what I do. Like, that's what I was known as, Nick's the growth hacker. I come in, I look at, how are you getting your customers? And some people are not doing all the ways to get their customers. Then it's like, when you get the customer, what is the onboarding process, right? So just because you get them doesn't mean you have them. So the onboarding, how, like, as soon as you sign someone up, what happens? Well, we have a process. Good, show me. And most people can't show you the process. And then after that, it's like, what along the line, after you get them on board, what's the stick rate, right? The stick rate, if you don't know your stick rate for something, then you basically don't even know why or when people are quitting. Stick rate tells me if I'm bringing someone on. Now, if you're doing something that's like a one-time payment, that could be different. But you still have to know, like, are there upsell opportunities, cross-sell opportunities, downsell opportunities, subscription opportunities? Like, so just because if you say, well, yeah, we're done with them after that. Well, no, that's what you're saying. You don't ever have to be done with the customer. You create ancillary products, upsells, cross sells, downsells. And then after that, when you know the stick rate, you're up to identify it. And then you look at, you know, like how long they've been there and where's the journey? Is there a roadmap for them? So that's the kind of stuff, Devin. So the third thing is change. So we're stuck. If you really want to change, and I'm going to tell this to you straightforward, guys, for me, my personal experience, I have not changed until I would say the past 2 years. And because I've read, as Devin's been in my house, like I have every book, like that's all, I continually read a book a week, always, like just to keep myself fresh. The books are not going to change you. The books could alter your behavior, right? But they're not going to change the physiology of inside of you, right? The way you're going to change is you have to go inner. It's like inner standing. So like, you know, it doesn't matter what it is, you need to change about yourself. But if you really want to change, my biggest recommendation I can give you is like, go and look up Joe Dispenza on meditation on YouTube, right? And you go inside of yourself, right? And you need to physiologically change yourself by getting the bad things that in you that are stored in your body. They're stored in your cells. They're stored in your everywhere. And there's breathing techniques you do. You know, and really what we all have to look at, this is all Joe Dispenza, right? This, when I say that I've changed, I literally went from, I used to be Nick D. Now I go by Nicholas Joel. Like I literally changed my identity because even Devin, like he sees me, but he would tell you, you did change, like, because he knows who I used to be. So in my journey of changing myself, what I learned, this is and it's all, again, there's several meditations you could use and stuff like that. 6-phase meditation is a great one, you know, like but it's like this, it's like when you want to change something about yourself, like, and say it's arguing with your wife or you react in a poor way, or whatever, like the reason why it keeps happening over and over again is because your body, it's the habit of being yourself, which is his first book or second book, the habit of being yourself. You keep going back to who you were, right? So you have to go inside of yourself and make these changes. And then from there, it's just like, man, you know what happens, Devin? You realize that you have been conditioned and programmed by so many people around you that you're looking at me right now. Like most of you, I would say that, you know, you're not even yourself. The journey you're trying to go in is inside of you, is trying to go inside of yourself. But think about this real quick. I know right away you're thinking that's crazy. School teachers, Fernando could relate to this. I went to high school with him. My high school teachers told me nothing but I would be a failure and a loser, right? And I got kicked out of religion class. And I mean, I can go on, right? Like there was no like I was an entrepreneur. No one even knew what that was then. I was just bad. You know what I mean? Your son will never make it. Your son will never make it. You have people that your own parents, you know, like everyone's got different circumstances. Sometimes it could be a stepfather telling you negative things about yourself. It could be your mother that is an alcoholic. Like what's happening is you're being programmed. You don't even realize it. And the next thing you know, like you're me and you're wondering, for example, like I had massive anger problems, like massive, you know what I mean? Like I want to, like when I talk about like anger, I'm talking about like, I want to fight. Like that's how angry I get. Like, it's like, you got something to say, like, well, let's do it. Like that's just, it's not good. Like it was not good. Like, you know, and if I feel like I'm being attacked, you know, whatever, oh man, like the behaviors of me, I was not proud of them. And then all the people that told me I would never do this, I would never do that, I can never make it. You can't be Secret Service, you can't be in the DEA. I wanted to be like I didn't even want to be a marketer. I wanted to be an FBI agent. And I listened to all these people, right? So my point is this, is that go inside of yourself, peel the layers off of who you aren't, find out who you really are. And I'm telling you, man, like magic will happen. Like even I was telling you about Michael, like, you know, my partner, we're working together. We're doing other things together. And what I did was I have such a trust in myself that he didn't want to launch the software. Oh, we need to wait. And I didn't look at him. I was just on a call. I said, no, we're launching the software. And he was just like, well, yeah, but like, I don't want to launch it. I don't think we're ready. I said, yeah, we're launching it. Because you know why? Because I know it's ready. And I don't care what you think. I understand you're my partner. Like, I'm sorry to break it to you like that, but you don't see like what I see, and I can't help you with that. You don't understand it. I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you. So I fought him tooth and nail. And guess what? We launched the software. He wasn't happy about it. And we did like a little over 40,000 the first week. Launched the first week we launched software. The thing is, what I'm protective of now, I trust myself more than anyone. Like when I'm in my meditations, I don't know if it's my father, I don't know if it's my grandfather, I don't know, God, whatever you want to call it. The whole time in these meditations, it's been, Nick, trust yourself. You keep doing, you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. Don't let anyone, because everyone's always worried, scared. You know what I'm saying, guys? Like, oh, don't open your own hair salon. Don't do this. Don't do that. Like, be careful. Like, oh, maybe you should be, and it's like, no, man, go into the unknown. Go into the scary part. Like those conversations, this was my boss. This was the guy that was like my mentor. And I'm telling him, no, we're not doing it like that because of the inner work I did on myself. And I stood up for myself. So Joe Dispenza, Devin, I think like anyone that wants to look into those things, massive help for everyone. And really really, that is the ultimate journey, like this entrepreneurial journey we're all on. I think it's awesome. But ultimately, guys, the biggest journey you're on is the one going inside of you. The what, like this, I have an expression, like how many, just show of hands, how many of you honor yourself every day by going internal? Wow. Okay. I don't see any hands up. Wait, so one more time. So if you honor, Fernando, nice. If you honor yourself once a day for 10 or 15 minutes, just think about, Amanda, what I just said, right? Like you don't even honor yourself. You deserve to be honored. Every one of you, right? You're busy, your work, you have kids, and here's what you have to do. You have got to take a step back and say, hey, I can't be as effective for you if I don't get 5 minutes or 20 minutes for myself. Leave me alone. I'm going to go sit over here and meditate. And if you don't know how to meditate, no problem. There's tons of videos online, but just think about that simple question. You're not honoring yourself every day. Every day you deserve it. The most important person is you. If you're not right, Nicole, then everyone around you is not going to be right. So that's interesting that we're not doing that. Devin, I know you probably want to go into the gamification. You were talking about Gamify, but
I got some other, as you go, man, it's just like sometimes I'm just like sitting there just soaking it all in because I'm just learning and learning and learning. I don't even want to fucking talk, excuse my language. But there is some things I wanted to highlight because when he was talking about change, right? And by the way, you guys got to understand, right? And a lot of times people come to this and you can just go and be like, wow, like, all right, cool. How hard was it for him to tell us this? But the bottom line is, in order for him to learn this stuff, he had to invest hundreds of thousands of dollars. That, by the way, guys, you sitting here are getting just for being in the harvest. So just know that this information that he spent hundreds upon thousands of dollars, you're getting to learn these lessons. But the key is the word change, right? I want you guys to really understand this. Most times, everybody joined this community at one point because there was something in them that realized they needed to change, right? Then on top of that, you get all this information that works, right? If you actually do this at a bare minimum, if you actually plug into the community, you can get business, right? But what happens is people aren't taking action. And this is where I feel that the big thing is. People have to understand that to change their results and to change their habits, what's going to happen? You have to change, right? You have to come to grips what you're going to have to change, right? You got to become a different person. I say this all the time to you guys, even my one-on-one clients. Listen, at the end of this year, I want you to be unrecognizable. I want somebody, Nick just said it flat out. He's like, listen, man, there's people that don't reckon when I talk to them and they see me and how I operate, they don't recognize me. Guys, this is called leveling up, and you need to understand that all your original thoughts, how many people text me that, I just can't make the time. That's them because they do not want to change. That is the worst excuse I can possibly hear from anybody, and that kills dreams. That kills people because their health is garbage. That kills relationships. By the way, Nick is talking about money. Money is a very uncomfortable conversation, right? But at the end of the day, it can solve a lot of problems. Right. And I want you guys to not miss what Nick was saying about marketing. Now, let's just say you're thinking in your head, Nick's talking all this stuff about how to generate sales and how to generate business. But I'm not a marketer. I don't have a marketing thing. I'm not a marketer. Let me tell you something right now, guys. If you are selling a service, which, by the way, everybody sells something, you got to come to grips with you're a marketer and a salesperson. Now, if you're not sharpening that skill, that's your fault. And that's affecting your wallets. That's affecting your finances. But when you sharpen your skill to become a better marketer, right? With, by the way, persuasion, influence, copy, all those stuff. I said, guys, do not forget that word. If you don't want to outsource that, right, I would definitely suggest learning it, because when Nick was saying, if you learn this stuff, I can create sales, right? By the way, social media, which is what I pounce on, where is Nick finding a lot of where is he making a lot of this money off of social media? By the way, if you guys learn influence, copywriting, how to get people emotionally attached to want to use your service and product, guess what happens? You close sales and you make more money, right? So you may not be the marketer with all these systems. Either A, hire them or outsource them, or B, learn how to do them. Do not miss what he's saying, because when he's talking about you can predict how much money you make, well, guess what? If you get better at marketing, and by the way, we're coaching it all within the blueprint or within this Combine method and all these coaching on how to do it, like the actions to take. But then when you take it next level, which is what Nick coaches on how to influence, how to persuade, how to make people fall in love with you immediately via social media, or how you talk to people using persuasion and stuff like that, how to stimulate their interest, hit their pain points when you see them in a networking group. Well, guess what? They're going to want to call you, because what you said, how you serve people, how you help people, right? When they met you at that networking event, you hit so many pain points to them to where they're like, I got to call this person when he gets, like, after this, I got to call this person, right? And it's all, you got to make people say that when they see you on social media. You got to make people say that when they see you in their email list. You got to make people say that when they see you at your networking event, when they see you on your text message, whatever it is. So guys, don't miss everything that he's been pouring into you guys, and write this stuff down, right? Am I learning this? Am I taking action on this after? Because you can start making more money if you learn the skills that he's talking about now. So with that being said,
Devin, I love it. I'm sorry, guys. I'll answer these questions because there's a lot of great questions coming in. An awesome like checklist, and so really, Devin, I think this is really awesome. There are a couple things. So, first thing, the most important thing when it comes to marketing is being you, right? Like it's like, and what I mean by that is like I went against like what everyone else told me, and like I'm Nick. I'm from Philly. I have an accent. That's who I am. You don't like it, whatever. You know what I mean? We know how the rest goes. I did videos, like everyone's going to tell you, like, here's what happens. You have to be very careful. Like everyone wants to tell you, like, before you do anything, you need all these things, right? Like you're going to do live videos. You know what you need? A phone. That's it. That's all you need. You don't need lighting. You don't need microphones. You need all this fancy shit. You don't need it. Like I was doing, like how I built myself was I showed them my story of when I was going back and forth to New York and Jersey. I would pull over on the Verrazano in the morning and I would give people a daily dose right on the bridge, like off the bridge. Like no matter where I was going live. Everyone was trying to say, yeah, I don't understand it. Nick just goes live anywhere. Yeah, because it's fucking real. It's like not this fake, like, you know what I mean? Nobody wants to see, like, if I came here today and I'm like, so guys, I've included the biography about myself. Here's some links to all my social media assets. Like you don't want that. Like, it's like, guess what? If we're going to work together, you're going to get who you see. It's like I don't want to be fake. You know what I mean? So be you, like, and don't let anyone affect that. Don't try to be this guy. Don't try to be this woman, like, because it's not you. You know what I mean? People want you. That's what they want. If not, you're just faking it the whole time. Like you're like acting like whatever, and then when people meet you, you're some different person. Second thing, this is probably the biggest trap. There's a lot of information, okay? Like, and there's all this information. So many entrepreneurs I know, they just get stuck. They can recite to me every book, every author, they get all the principles of the book, you know what I mean? Like, but then I say to them, hey, listen, Bill, like, that's really great. Like, how are you using that in your business? Well, no, I mean, I'm not really using that. And I'm like, so information, you have to acquire the right information, copywriting, things like that, right? Experience, okay? Like, that's what you're seeing from me. Like, I could recite all the books, but I could give you the sales, like, proof of how I did it. You know what I mean? You'll watch me do it. You know what I mean? It's like, so I take the information, I implement it, and that's really the most important thing. The experience leads to the wisdom. Really, that's where you want to get to, is the wisdom. right? But you don't get the wisdom without the information and then taking it, implement like Devin. Like Devin, that's why he has all these people here. He took the information at the masterminds and all his personal knowledge. He applied it to his business, right? You see him doing phenomenal. And then he's over here giving you his wisdom, right? It's like, but you have to determine like, where are you? You know, are you stuck in just like, you're just in this information loop? You know, like it's like, and you're doing nothing with the information, or are you stuck with, you're just the experience, like you're doing all the work, right? But eventually you shouldn't be doing all the work. Like there's like cycles, like with products and developing things, like you shouldn't be doing it all the time. You eventually have to pass it off to other people. And then that's when you have wisdom. Like right now with my software company, I told you, like I am taking, like I have the ultimate response. I have to create this onboarding process. I need to see how it works. I can't just like listen to Nicole. So Nicole, how was it? Oh, it was great. It was great. Everyone loved it. And then 2 months later, hey, Nick, we just want to quit. No, I'm like going, I want to see the process with them. But then eventually I take that experience, Devin, and I pass it off. And now I'm spending more time in the higher level where I need to be.
Leverage, right? Which is one thing that we always talk about a lot. So let's get into, this is the part to where I talk about, like, because I know a lot of us, right? It's like, hey, how do I, let's just say, how do I get my people on my organization to produce at a higher level, right? How do I get people in general to perform at a high level? Maybe you're a parent, right? And you're like, how do I get my kids to listen to me, right? Or whatever it is, right? This is where this word gamify comes in at. And Nick, it's so funny, man. Nick brought this up to me, I don't know, probably like 5 months ago. And then, I don't know, I guess it's the reticular activating system to where you hear that and then it just pops up. It's like, it's slowly, you start seeing it like pop up. And that's literally what's happening. And he was like, we went down in his basement. He's like, you see that book right there? I was sitting here working out and I saw that book and it was like, aha, this is what I needed to do. So anyway, I want you to understand when he goes into this, guys, if you're trying to, and by the way, how to get your client base, your database, the people that already done business with you on the Combine method, right? Your sphere of influence, your CRM, the thing that you should be making a commitment to every single week. Who's using that? Who's doing it? Who's writing in their commitment to their database that they're taking action on this week? I don't know, but that's a question you can ask yourself. But outside of that, this is a way to do it. And it's the word gamify. And Nick, I want you to go into what you learn about this word, how it can help people in their businesses. And obviously, Nick has a software for this too on top of it that he's been talking about. But for the most part, I want you to understand in general how important it is. And then later on, like we talk about outsourcing, there's obviously ways, I mean, not many, but for the most part, there is a way to outsource it at some point too. So Nick, if you want to go into that.
Showed about my secret stashes of books. Like this is where all the magic. These were books I wouldn't let anyone even know I was reading. I'm so weird. So like I didn't want everybody to know, but like these were like some of the best books, like Hooked by Nir Eyal. It's all about how to get people hooked to technology. He's a New York Times bestselling author. And eventually I ended up doing some work with him, which was really cool. But these were all the books I talked about. Like I've read everything here. I read a book a week. That story Devin was talking about, I'm going to go through that in a second. This is where that gamification book was. It was right there. And what I'm going to give you right now is this is literally like 7-figure information for real. Like I know, because I know what information's out there. So this is a personal, this is how it happens. And I think I want you to think about this the same way. So in all of our industries, most of us are in a red ocean. Like, there's no like think about Devin, you're in a real estate agency, right? You have real estate. There's several real estate agencies. He's not the only one. We all compete, right? We have a massive, where it's very competitive, right? So here I am now, like 20 years later, I developed my own software, and as it's being developed, I just keep hitting my head and I'm like, this is not good. I'm going to go into the red ocean. I have no point of differentiation, which is what you should write down. Point of differentiation. So I'm going to go into a red ocean just like you. Okay. And then what happens is basically it's like a waste of time because everyone's saying the same thing. Like, this is what I do. This is what I do. This is what I do. And then if you ask yourself the question, if someone asks you the question, how am I different? How are you different, Bill? How are you different, Suzanne? Most people, they give the same answer. Well, we care more. It's our customer service. When you walked into our facility, we're the best. you got to be honest. They're just lame answers. I mean, everyone says the same thing, right? So when I talk about depth, like I just don't allow myself to just like say those things. So when I was going to this red ocean, I have billing, I have attendance, I have class management systems. Like I have all the same things that all these other softwares have. So it's not something sometimes, guys, that like, you know, like we talked about the subconscious, that you're just going to like think for 5 minutes and, oh, now I'm different. Guys, I spent months meditating, looking, researching as I'm developing. I'm like, man, this is just literally, I'm saying to myself, this is just going to be hard because I have no differentiation, but I'm thinking about it. So like months. And like Devin said, I meditated, and all of a sudden I remember being at a war room event, and this guy was talking about gamification. And I just remembered like how this guy, he was amazing. Like his energy, he was talking about gamifying the member experience. And you know what? I did nothing. This was years ago. I listened to him but I remembered it. And I remember that he gave away a book. It was a 600-page, you can look it up, gamification, just go on Amazon, right? It's 585 page book. And right then and there, I was like, holy shit, no one's gamifying anything in fitness or martial arts or coaching. No one. Like, think about it. All the guys, so you see them all. Is anyone talking about it? Nope. They sell you the Facebook ads. We have the way to sell people, close people, everything. But no one's talking about how to gamify your member experience. So right then and there, I was like, okay, I'm on to something. I said, like, I read the book again, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I'm scouring the internet, and I'm thinking about how do I tie in gamification? And I go, instead of going into Google, I go to Bing, because now like everyone goes to Google, right? Everyone just goes the first couple pages. I'm on, no exaggeration, this is how fucking weird I am. I'm on page 26 of Bing, and I come across this developer that basically has this gamification system. He happened to work with the CRM that I was building. Like I was using part white label, and I made some of our own. He'd worked with this. And what I was able to do was I confirmed with him. I said, listen, let's jump on a call, because he's a video gamer. He does like video gaming, but he also understands the principle of gamification. And what we did was we combined 3 systems into one, and we added the gamification for attendance. So meaning that, you know, this is a gym or a martial arts school. Like everyone just comes in and that's it. Like you come in, you leave. Well, we turned into a game. So it's like, you know, that when you train at our kickboxing school or whatever, there's like points you could get. There's digital badges, just like a video game. So the more you attend, the higher level you get, the more things that you win, right? That's just for attendance. Then there's ranking for, like, I have a personal trainer. I was telling Devin, I said, like, nothing's getting measured. Like, I don't even have any type of, like, I just show up and I leave. That's it. Well, like, my days are numbered. I'm not going to keep paying for just doing that. Like, you know, you got to get deeper with your members, right? So besides, like, you know, attendance, we also gamify the ranking system for martial arts and fitness, meaning that they get to certain levels, they unlock certain achievements, they are certain prizes. You also have this, everyone would probably relate to this. You should write this down. This is another really important one, part of that 7-figure dump. Your business should stand for 3 things, right? So my business, Studio Boss, we stand for 3 things. Flexibility, right? If you ever work with us, which I'm eventually, you know, me and Devin are working on something, but the cool thing you'll get with me is there's never an answer. I don't have the answer no. Sean says to me, hey, Nick, what I'm looking to do, I said, Sean, that's great. Tell me exactly, like, again, what do you need? And then he tells me, cool. Would it be okay if I tell you how much it would cost and how fast I can get it done? Like literally, I don't work with people that tell me no. Like my developers, the way that Studio Boss stands for, I'm not building a platform that it has limitations, right? So that was by design, because what do? You buy a software, you need 6 other ones to make it work. You know, it's like, I don't want that. So like the way the platform was designed, flexibility, because I know that everyone's weird like me. Like I don't want the same way as everybody else. I always want to do something a little bit different. So that's number 1, we stand for flexibility, freedom. Like you're seeing me here. Like I did this call for Devin because he asked me to do it. Like I have cleaning people at my house. Like I'm not in the best position, but the coolest part about it is like with working with us, like the way that our software works is that you're not pigeoned to like work and live in a certain spot. Like it's all connected to the virtual aspect, the way the world is now too. So I really believe that's important. Like freedom, I want to help you develop something that you have freedom in your life. You know what I mean? Like there's 3 different types of freedom. Relationship freedom. Like I hang with my wife. Like if you ask me, what do you love doing? Hanging with my wife. That's what I love doing. Like I have relationship freedom, financial freedom. I don't have financial freedom. Like I've done well. I've also lost a lot of money in software. Hundreds of thousands of dollars I've lost in software. I've taken major risks. I've lost things on businesses and stuff like that. So I don't have financial freedom, but I do okay. And then basically, the last one I talk about is just personal freedom. Like, are you waking up doing a job, or are you waking up like living the way you want to live on your terms? So people that work with us, that's what I show them in addition to teaching them software. You don't just come on a call and it's just like, okay, well, here's how we're going to input the student. We're always like giving a nugget of business. We're always showing them like how you can get there. And then the last thing is non-friction. Okay. So for us, now I want you to think about what it is for you. If someone says, what are 3 things you stand for? Like non-friction means that I don't want to have barriers of working with anything. Like it's like our system, it's called an API. You probably don't know what that is, but what it means is that we can connect and work with various softwares without any type of friction. And also what I don't like being in is relying on anyone. Okay. So other companies. So although I could tie into the API, we make websites, we do everything that our competitors do. So I don't have to worry about like, well, ask them if they can give me this, ask them if we can get this from them. Like I've been around the block. I don't want that. So when people sign up for Studio Boss and they say, Nick, tell me, look, what are you? What do you stand for? Flexibility, freedom, and non-friction. That's who we are. You know, so like you want to think about what that is, but from a gamification perspective, okay, here's the even cooler part. All right. Like a gym, someone that's doing personal training, coaching, or anything like that. Like Devin, great example. If Devin said to me, like, Nick, tell me, like from a coaching perspective, what are the 3 things you stand for? The 3 things I stand for coaching is mind, body, spirit. Those to me, those are the most important things. So how do you gamify it? This is really cool. What you do is for the mind, what I do with my clients, when they read 30 minutes a day, they get 1 point. That's the exercise of the mind. Reading and exercise in the mind 30 minutes a day. For the body, it is doing some type of workout either with me or on our virtual curriculum. That's their body. And then the spirit is meditation or prayer. So whatever your 3 things you stand for, it could be 4, but that's too much. Use the rule of 3. That's from Steve Jobs. Just follow that all the time.
That's what I was going to connect with you on. 3. I was wondering why you use 3, because when I like in the Deep Roots and this program take people through when it comes to identifying their brand, like what they're about, right? And it comes to what are the 3 words that will trigger you to identify what you want your brand to be about. And it's always 3. And then you said 3. So I was like, there's got to be something with 3.
I've read every Steve Jobs book and movie and everything you possibly imagine. He is the greatest presenter of all time, in my opinion. Now, again, you might say, well, I'm talking about like tech and stuff like that. But he uses the rule of 3 religiously for everything. Like even for you guys, like think about this. You're working with your staff. You want to give them a list of 20 things, or you want them to do 3 things. The brain remembers 3. The brain can, and whenever you're doing 3, what I didn't do, it's like number 1, we stand for freedom. Number 2, we stand for flexibility. Number 3, it's like that helps like follow along. So when you're seeing these speakers like Steve Jobs, like when you go back and you're like, yeah, but how do you do the iPad? Exactly like I told you. He went over the 3 most important things that it does. The 3 things that are in it for the consumer. Same thing with the iPhone, same thing with everything. So again, but here's the thing. That's why even for you guys, Devin, to measure what's happening is you're measuring their performance behaviors. Everyone right now is sleeping on gamification. You're doing the same thing as everybody else, right? Yeah, we have great service. I call you back, but you're not turning it into a rewards mechanism that works automatically, okay, without any staff members. That is the other big component of this. When it's done where you have to rely on your staff to check in, clipboards, who's showing up, it'll never work. These systems are created. So we measure habits, Devin, like you. You could say, Nick, you're saying that for everyone on here, I can measure the 3 important things for harvest, which is reading, exercising, and diet. Whatever. I'd say, yeah, Devin, I'll have it up for you by tomorrow morning. And what they do is they go in, they check it off. There's a leaderboard, right, that they get on their phone that you could show them on these meetings. And it would say, hey, look, it's Wednesday. Sean Fagan's in #1 spot. He's in #1. And guess what? He knows that when he wins the week, without even talking to you, Devin, he's getting a $50 gift card to, whatever coaching services you offer. Like, you create your own rewards, right? So you're creating what you're doing is, like, I'm telling you guys, like, when I tell you everybody's sleeping, everyone's sleeping. Like, it's the same stuff. This balance, fucking bullshit. Like, it's like your member experience. She's laughing because I'm right. It's true, right? The member experience, like, you want to put it, like, what I use, Devin, is this. I say this. This is how I get everyone to sign up with me for the martial arts and fitness. I said, I am going to create. I'm done with this member experience. I said, it's the member masterpiece. You're going to create a journey that they're going through that's gamified. It's like imagine going to the boardwalk. Like, we all go to the boardwalk, right? And when you go into there with your kids, there's that stuffed animal. They're gamifying you with tickets for all the games you're spending on, right? And you spend $200 to get the $20, stuffed animal, right? The problem is none of us, right? There's no reward system. No one knows what they're getting. No one knows what they can get, right? And there's no levels that are happening automatically without you reaching out to them. Like, you can gamify anything, like even hospitality. Like, if you're giving people tasks, like, and they need to do certain things, what is the reward they get when they do it? It doesn't have to be monetary. It could be just be like letting them see like where they need to go. So it could be gamification, guys. It's happening all around you and you're not using it in your business. Instagram is totally gamifying you 24/7. Like, think about it. What do you want? You want followers, you want likes, like all those things, those metrics that happen automatically. Like, even Devin, what we do is this, guys. Devin, I think we said, like, maybe next time I'll actually show you where I could be in an environment where maybe I'll come over to your studio or something and I could show them. But the community, Devin, the website, all of you, what we do is we have a Facebook group, but Facebook, man, like, I'm sorry, like, you better get off of that. You better get that. You're relying just on Facebook, just for your own sanity. You should have your own private community without religion and politics and people arguing about vaccines and passports, right? Like, people are over it. The audience is diminishing. Like, people don't want to hear about it all the time. I mean, it's like, so we create a social network. It's your own social network on your own website, right? That's gamified. And it's all of your members. They have groups, they have pages. And here's the best part. Every time they're commenting and they're liking and they're doing stuff, it's all gamified. It's all happening automatically without your staff members, automatically. So gamification, guys, like, I honestly, I don't want to say I got lucky. Like, I put a lot of time in and went to so many different seminars, and from reading Blue Ocean Strategy, like, knowing that I was in a red ocean, like, a lot of you guys have read that book. Like, I just kept hitting my head. I got to be different. And I don't know, like, why no one else has figured this out yet. But I can tell you, like, it can be done for any business. It can, it might not be as easy as for others, but like, gamifying that experience, guys, like the rewards, the achievements. So the achievements, think about this, like, you're creating your own achievements. Like, don't listen to what everyone else is doing. I know from my clients what they want from me. I don't give them t-shirts and trinkets, right? And a bunch of stuff that they could buy in my pro shop. They want time with me. They want me to dissect their business with a microscope. That's what they want. So I've gamified that to the highest level. So when they get like 2,000 points on my community, they get like 3 hours with me on a one-on-one like analysis of their entire marketing plan. That's what I do. I go through the Facebook ads. I go through their everything. The emails are going out or what's not going out. That's what they want from me. And so, like, what do they want from you? They want time with you. You understand? People want time. They want knowledge. They want you to look at them. That's what I believe it is. But anyway, Devin, that's like the basis of gamification.
Yep.
It's all tied into how it makes the experience better for the user, not you, for the user. Their experience is better.
Yeah. And a few things to take from this too, as you're listening, right, is he hits it all the time. He talked about the red ocean. Think about this. Everybody on this screen, why would somebody come to you versus anybody else that's in your space? and maybe you tell yourself this story in your head, but let's just say you have that reason. On your emails, on your text, on your social media, at your networking, is that projected? Is that your battle cry? Is that your marketing? Like, do you put that out there? And that, if you do not, and you're honest with yourself, you're losing a lot of money. You're losing a lot of transactions. You're losing a lot of what happens when you generate more money, when you generate more business, then you can hire more people, and then you can have more freedom, right? So just know, like, that's one thing that I want you guys to understand, because I also know that a lot of listeners fall into the trap of, well, if this isn't specifically my business or specifically me, then it doesn't. No, this matters to everybody. What makes you different to your network, to your sphere? Next,
Devin, also everyone has staff too. You all have people that work for you, right? Yeah. Like they should be gamified. Like there should be incentives for them, right? Like think about this as your training staff members and your onboarding staff members. Like that's a whole other way of looking at it as well. But great points, Devin. I just wanted to add that as well. Like, you know, like you can gamify, doesn't matter what business you're in, you know, good points, man.
What about your, like, let's just say I have a whole past client email list. I definitely do. But for the most part, let's just say I have an email list of 250 people, right? And how could you gamify a way for them to send you referrals? How about that? Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. I might have to show you guys something really quick. Okay. I might have to just do this real quick. So that's actually, we call that referral boss. Okay. And so we use everything like I'm kind of copying Apple. So Studio Boss is the name, but all the mechanisms have the name boss. So referral boss, gamification boss, you know, attendance boss, right? So Devin, you're mentioning like referrals. Okay. Here's the problem with referrals is that no one has any type of reward system at all, right? At all. And you make it so complicated and it's always like one offer. So what we do on your website, I'm gonna show this to you real quick. Let me just, sorry, man. They're like vacuuming and shit. Sorry, man. Give me 1 second. Devin, you'll love this one. And sorry, guys, I do curse because that's who I am. So I'm sorry. Sometimes it comes out. Sorry.
Yeah, for the most part, though, guys. And remember, when we coach on the Combine method, we talk about Sphere. Like, what is your commitment? Now, if you have it automated, then, hey, that's even better. So now, hey, I'd like for you to automate everything that's taught on that Combine method that's proven to grow your business. So if you can automate it, hey, that makes it even easier. That creates leverage. And also, you can start funneling in business, having it automated. But, you know, what this does is it's another way, that word gamify, think about tracking your referrals. Think about if you could gamify your employees to show up. I mean, I had a one-on-one client where we were talking about their employees showing up on time. If you can find a way to gamify that, I guarantee you people will show up on time more often. And these are hacks to get higher performance in your referrals, in your business, or wherever else, in your house. I mean, shit, I'm always struggling trying to get my kids to listen to me. I can't figure that shit out at all. So maybe I could gamify that. You know what I mean? Like, you know, that's a struggle I'm having right now.
Devin, I just am so impressed with your group. I'm honestly like, and you, I'm honestly, I'm very excited to do this because I literally have been in a dungeon, like working on software for about the past like 6 months. So I'm really, seriously, it's all I do is like, it's tough, guys. Like software it's no joke. It's like, I've lost a lot of money in software. It's a very tough business, right? To get it going and everything. And I just love this energy, but Devin, man, as I talk to you, I'm like, oh my God, like some of these things I'm about to show you, cause I know what's out there. Like you've never seen them. Like, it's like, that is how deep I am into my stuff. And check this out, Devin. So you just gave me another idea. Look at this. Okay. So let me share this.
Can I allow you to screen share? Can I do it? What do I got to do?
I can share it. Yeah, I'm going to share my screen. 1 second.
Let me know.
I'm going to show you, this is basically a way to automate referrals. I'm going to show this to you guys and just give me 1 second. Let me just log in. I just love this. I'm having so much fun with this group, Devin. I will get to answer all those questions, Devin. There's a lot of questions. I'll answer those afterwards. I can only do one thing at a time. Like that's how my mind is. Like if I start going back, then I lose my intensity.
So I just click the button that says multiple participants can share just to make sure that you can share.
Thanks, brother. Okay, so check this out. Oh, that was what I was going to say. Okay, so this is even more ironic, Devin. I think you might actually know this guy. So this is pretty cool. So let me show you real quick. Okay. So the interesting thing is, Devin, this guy is in Mount Laurel, right? And I'm going to show you a couple of things here, guys, because, man, that's what I'm saying. I have to get out of the basement and the bunker or whatever, because I'm going to show you Referral Boss. But the other thing, Devin, that you're going to love, I haven't even told you this. This is nuts. Okay. What you're able to do on these communities, because you're working with so many different local business owners. This is nuts. This is literally just came out like last week. What you're able to do on your own website, like that we have, is that other local businesses are able to go and they apply to become a commerce partner, right? Meaning that, so on your community, if you have like Devin, like for example, he'd have all of you guys on this website and you'd be a commerce partner. Everyone that's getting gamified on his community, listen to this one. This is nuts. Okay. So if he has a community of 5,000 people, 2,000 people, 500 people, 200 people, doesn't matter. Devin, check this out. All your people that have applied and you approve as commerce vendors, right? Every one of your users is able to redeem the points they get on your community for cash at that business. Okay. So meaning that every one of it's involved, like you can even do it in here. Like, so if they're getting points while they're sleeping, they're doing things, Devin, everyone's accumulating points. They're able to go to anyone that's listed on your site and they can redeem those points for like $25 cash for a person that does personal training or someone that has hospitality, whatever. I'm not saying that's the number. But you guys that's a way to collaborate. You mentioned the word collaboration. That is the single most important thing of where we are right now. You better be collaborating with the right people and stop thinking inside the box. Like you don't know who you should be collaborating with. Be open to everybody, right? That is one of those examples. So Devin, I gotta show you about that. I'll show you how that whole thing works. But that is a way to like people want to tie small business together and everybody working together. When you have no one has ever done anything where they're all on one website. And everyone, here's what they do, guys. They all drive their list there. Everyone drives the list to the community. So all the local people, when they go on there, they're all gamifying for points. They all want to be vendors because they know that those people will spend money with them. So I'm a little bit ahead of everyone. When I say everyone, no one's doing this. I'll show you that when I get Devin set up. But check this out. All right, so this is that referral system I was telling you about. Okay, so there's two different things that it could be done here. And this is a martial arts school, but he's running a small business community. Those are the programs he offers. So this is what happens on your website. This community, this social network I'm talking about, your members, without you, they come over here, it says generate referral link. So if I'm on Sean Fagan's community, and I'm like, oh, I could earn some points. So I go like this, I copy, this is the referral link. We give them exactly what the post is right here. Like share this image on your Facebook page. Here's what you say, insert the link, and it even it tracks the referrals automatically. That's just they get points just for sending someone to the website. So what happens is there's a link. When they go to the checkout page, we know where they went. So it's automatically tracking all those referrals, Sean, automatically. So everyone on your community that refers more people, they're getting points. So what's most important for you is what do they get from the points? When you start involving other local businesses and prizes with yourself, that's what makes it enticing for them, right? So this is just first like how to refer people to your website. Like no one even has that. You just share a link, but you don't even know it's working. And there's nothing in it for them. This encompasses all three of those things. Now, the last thing here is this. So now this is a martial arts studio. Okay, so take this with a grain of salt. I don't know what programs you want referral. Do you see how the points are just showing up automatically? It just says I earn another point. Like it's all gamified. Everything I'm doing on the site, every behavior, everywhere I click or touch, it's all being measured automatically with no staff members. Okay. Now for a martial arts school, if I was a member, okay, of his studio and you guys are all my friends, me as the consumer, I have three options. Okay. Now you might say, Nick, well, I only have one option. Whatever. Then we'll give people one option. But I don't like that. I like being flexible. So like for martial arts, I have different types of friends. Devin is my boy. If I said, Devin, listen, man, if I call Devin tomorrow, this kind of guy Devin is, and I'm like, you just got to come in and do Muay Thai with me, man. There's no doubt that you got to get into this. Like just trust me, do it for a month. I would send this link to Devin over here. I would send him this starter package. It's like 3 classes. I know he would do it. Like I know he would do it. Now, someone else, some of my other friends, they not like Devin that don't want to exercise or whatever. Like I would try to get them in for a free class. So I have one that's paid, I have one that's free. And then Sean, you understand, some of you guys understand the martial arts. This one is just to sign someone up right onto a 12-month contract. Automatically, the software does all the billing. So you see these links? This is whatever I want to send to Sean, I could send you a free pass, a paid pass, or a 12-month contract. And the staff does nothing. It's all due through this, it tracks it all through the software. There's a referral board. This is all happening while you're sleeping. And if you see this, the rewards page, this is the most important part. Like what's in it for the person given the referrals. So you go here, and this tells you what you can win. So I'll show you real quick. And then you guys, I'm sure, have a lot of questions, Devin. I can't believe we're an hour and a half into this. It's awesome, right? So he has 2 different award types based on points. So when they get 150 points, he gives a $100 gift card away. When they get 49 referral points, gives a $20 gift card. Hey, listen, to each his own. The thing is, it's not like I'm very big into the word dynamic. I don't like anything static. Like you should not keep offers and anything the same for long periods of time. Base it on whether it's working. So if I see that no one's referring anybody over here, Sean, maybe I have to make the prize better. Maybe, hey, if they get 200 points, they win a free sleepover party at the karate studio, whatever. But everything I'm showing you on here, this is even, I'm gonna show you this, just to show you, this has nothing to do with martial arts. This is Devin, the community that I'm gonna build for you. So then just check this out. This is cool. This is just basically showing you the homepage of how it's not just for martial arts schools, it's for anybody. See that? Welcome to the community of Mount Laurel. That's the name of his. You have your own domain, and it explains to everybody like what's in it for them. It's a private community, win prizes and memberships, participate in challenges, and then it shows you what it looks like, different groups on there. It's all documented, right? Everything, earn points daily, connect with people all over the world. You're already doing this, Devin, but it's not being gamified, right? That's what we could do for anyone. So then it's even here, we're hitting like why, social interaction and positive environment. You could change it if you want to. Frequently asked questions. That's it. So once you get them in there, once you get them into the community, that is where all the gamification happens. It's happening on the back end on their phone. It's a mobile web app. Okay. So they're getting notifications every time they're getting a point. So don't worry about too much of it, but I wanted to give you like an overview of how it works. And then you start thinking about your own business. What can I gamify? What are we, Devin, you mentioned leads too. The next thing that we're already working on is like leads. What happens is really, to give you guys a little insight, when you're gamifying leads, all you're really doing is you're trying to get more compliance from them. You're trying to get them to do more things, because the more things you do, the easier it is to ask them for money. Do you understand? So like if I say, hey, for example, Amanda, I want you to do this, and she does that. Then I say, hey, do this next. And she keeps going down the list. The further she goes down the list, the closer she is to signing up. So that is how you would gamify leads. And the coolest thing about this, guys, is this is not a martial arts software. It's it can be for like everyone's, it's an enterprise level software. It works for any small business. You understand? The community is about your community, not martial arts or fitness or anyone. But anyway, Devin, that is like, I want to go in way more like detail next time, but I hope that helps everyone. I could answer maybe 15 minutes of questions if you want.
Yeah, well, thank you. I didn't know we were going to deep dive into that. So that was an added bonus for you to for everybody to kind of see, like, it's good to hear it, but sometimes seeing it and like, wow, that like, it's actually a real thing. But just to keep you guys out of overwhelm, I want you to understand just the purpose of gamification to your database, to your sphere, to your company, to your organization, and how it can help you. And ideally, the best way to do it is to outsource it on top of that. But listen, guys, I know that there was a lot on this call. I mean, we went into literally getting the best out of yourself, out of your mindset, protecting energy, gamification, growing your business, all that stuff. So is there any specific questions that you guys have for Nick before we sign off? And by the way, you guys can follow him up on Facebook and stuff like that. Hopefully you're sharing when you get off this, hopefully you share the call on your database, stuff like that. But Jason, Gabrielli, what do you got, my friend?
Hey, Dev. Hey, Nick. That was awesome. Thanks so much. I'm actually in strategic coach, so Dan Sullivan is awesome. Just amazing, dude. Not a big mainstream name, but if you know who he is, he's ridiculous. But I just wanted to ask you. So I'm curious about these. I'm sure you have them, but the statistics on how many people actually engage. Like how many? What kind of engagement are you seeing on the community members? I don't know if I'm asking the right question, but I'm just curious.
That is a great question. And real quick, guys, Coaching Boss on Instagram. If you guys want to follow me there, that's where I hang out most of the time. Coaching Boss. Yes. So I want to tell you why that's such a great question. Because people are over social media in general, right? So I've actually explained this to several people. The community, the way you want to utilize it is more for like letting them your message get straight through without any type of noise, right? But you will not see the most like highest levels of engagement. You're not, you won't. But what you will see is what is in it for them. So the gamification for like a martial arts school, John, would be basically like the habits and the referrals and the things that they can get to earn points. That is what like never stop. They always want that. But we do gamify them leaving a post. We do gamify them leaving a comment, right? But I love his question because it's almost like he already understands this. Like social media is like everyone's over it. It's like, oh my God, it's like enough, right? So what I explain to people is you utilize the platform to really like get your message crystal clear to your members, like, and that without any interference, without any Facebook ads. Like the thing is, you create these Facebook groups and you think that they're free. They're not free. Like they're taking your data and they're selling it to other people. They're selling your people, your members are getting marketed to by your competitors, whether you believe it or not. That's what's happening. That your competitors are one click away as well. So I love his question because he's dead on. He's actually like ahead of people. The engagement it's never going to be like it was 3 years ago, 5 years ago, but use it more, John, for like those really like the important announcements, highlighting members, letting people know, hey, the cool thing about this, like, listen, I could tag you guys in my Facebook groups an hour before I'm doing a live call. And do you know you won't get notified? It's unbelievable. It's like Facebook is just like, it's unbelievable. So the answer again, yes, I agree with them. And also what they really want, Jace, is all those cool things that are in it for them. Like they're chasing, think about this, guys. Like I didn't have a chance to talk about this, Devin. Hooked would be one of the best books you could read because someone made a comment, it's great for kids. No, man. Like gamification is a psychological trigger. Right? It's getting you hooked and addicted to being on a platform. Like it's happening to you probably worse than your kids. Like seriously, like my wife, I love her. She loves Instagram story. She's hooked on it. She loves going through. She's laughing at me. She's walking by. I'm not getting in trouble, babe, right? It's like, but she literally is hooked on, like, that's where people are hooked. No one's going through all the images. Like when you go to my Instagram page, you can be like, you haven't posted in 2 years. I because my page reflects who I am. Like if you look at like one of our really good partners, he works with high-end celebrities and athletes in LA. And if you look at the Instagram pages of most people, it's a bunch of, it's like what the example he uses is it's like a magazine made by like a kindergarten student. Like, it's just like you have a picture of your baby, then there's a picture of your seminar, then there's a picture of like, you at some event, no one even knows what it is. It's like incongruent. Like, so when you look at Coaching Boss, the amount of time I invested in that masterpiece, they look at it. It's like the way it's set up is it's by positioning who I am. It's showing you like me on stage for a reason, right? It's showing you me with high level celebrities for a reason, right? Then it's showing you, when you look at my story, which has been absent, that is really the behind the scenes life that I live, which Devin knows. It's usually I'm at a restaurant. It's like that. That's what I do. Like I'm always showing like the behind the scenes of, that's what people want to see. That's your story. So listen, I could do a whole thing on Instagram, but that when you look at your Instagram page and your Instagram like post, you want to do the opposite of what everyone else is doing. Like they're going to scan your page. And when they scan your page, it either is telling a story that's congruent with your bio or it's not. It's just like you're leaving it open for interpretation for them. You know what I mean? Like, so look at that look at Coaching Boss and like, think about it. It does not have to be 700 images. Like literally it should be like sections. Like here's how I position myself as a leader. Here's how I position myself on credibility. Like you'll see me with all these people I'm talking about. I have pictures with all of them, and that's the stories where all the behind the scenes cool stuff is. Sorry. So John, I hope that helps you. I love these questions. Marketing questions. Like I told Devin, it's like, that is like my thing. Right. But I also do like talking about people that are stuck because I know that I have a really big, I love helping people get out of situations that they're stuck in. Anyway. Okay, Devin, next question.
Anybody else have anything specific that you want to ask Nick before we sign off? Because I know typically they have blocked out up to 1:30, but.
Yeah, even like list building and like any type of things you're trying to do from marketing perspectives, like if you have something that you're thinking of, you should just ask it because I'll tell you what works. Like I'll be like, nope, that's a waste of time. Like, try this, try that. Like if you're trying to build a list, if you're trying to do a launch, like I've done more launches than most people, and a lot of launches I do, I'm behind the scenes. I've been part of lots of 7-figure launches too. So if any questions you guys have, I have 5 more minutes. Devin, let's do it. There's no such thing as a dumb question. Trust me. Like if you're thinking it, spit it out.
I got something.
Yeah, let's go, Nick.
So my industry, I'm with Mutual of Omaha and insurance. We're definitely restricted when it comes to compliance, and all of my posts have to be approved and everything like that. But I have this in-person, it's called Marlton Day. It's where business is. It's like the Main Street event. And I was thinking of a way to kind of gamify that, my table. And I'm not really sure how. Maybe I could even get like a Plinko set for the kids walking by and have like an email sign up, and you get to drop a thing down the, the chip falling, and you get a reward from it. But I really like the gamification. I just definitely am kind of locked in with compliance and everything.
That makes total sense. Like they're locked in with like my brother-in-law, same thing. I was talking to him. He's a Marlton insurance company, and he's saying the same thing. Like there's not much you could do like because of compliance. But I love how you're looking at it. Like, yeah, you still can because you can go to outdoor events, right? And you gamify that experience. Like the only thing I would say though about outdoor events is I like where you were kind of going with like some type of game, like that they actually could have fun with versus an iPad. You know what I mean? Like if I'm outdoors and it's 80 degrees out, Nick, to your point, I think you're going in a better direction. Like I think that you could have them do something that's interactive and fun, right? And then you combine it with, oh wow, listen, you did a great job. Now just leave your email address here and we'll give you your prize. Like you want to get them into your email list of some sort. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think like, especially if it's this weekend, like I would do something like that where you're doing something in person rather than giving them an iPad, or some type of device. Like everyone's outdoors, right? The other thing too is if you wanted to like do some type of survey or some type of questionnaire, like where they're going through even a course, like, so you're selling insurance, like, like for example, the 3 things you don't know on how you could lose your house. You know what I mean? Like something that just gets people's attention.
You see how he just did that? That's marketing, guys. Like you're hitting pain point. What? Lose my house?
Mm-hmm.
Like that, I don't want you guys to miss that. That can make you a lot of money when you start operating your content that way.
Devin, to your point, like the courses, like that's the thing too. Like what you guys are going to start hearing a lot about is like lead magnets. Like you need multiple ways because everyone's different, right? They're all different people. Some people want to go through a course with like how not to lose your house. You know what I mean? Like those attention grabbers. Like that's how you separate yourself. You know what I mean? Like from everyone else, the market. So headlines are very important. A lot of times, like, you have to be, it's really like you're really trying to create a mystery. Mystery was gets everyone to look at you more deep, right? But when you sound like everybody else, like buy my shit, or like the 6 weeks, so you have to be more creative with the headlines. But I love where he's going with that. And I think that outdoor events, the thing that we do, I love where he's going with this. I'm trying to find out how to coordinate wearable technology and to gamify it for gyms with the system. I don't have it yet. So meaning that right now, like, because I know, like I've said this like 10 years ago, Devin, I said, how is there not a technology that I just put on and I bicep curl the right way? You know what I mean? Like, that we're, instead of your whatever. So like wearable technologies, like that's something I'm always I just believe in anything's possible. Like, so if we're ever gonna talk and you're like, yeah, I can never do that. Like, I will stop your negative thought and I'll say, yes, it can. It absolutely can happen. Like that's just the way we need to think, right? So I'm gonna think of more ideas for you, Nick. Like, on gamifying it, but courses, like that is a really simple way to build an email list. So you have a landing page that, and it can be gamified, meaning that basically they want to know the three ways not to lose their house. Every time they go through and watch the video, they have to do a checkbox and they can receive something for that. Like, I don't have it off the top of my head what it would be.
Yeah.
But courses, like, imagine this. You should write this down, all of you. One of the best things I can give you for social media marketing is you are basically a salad maker. You are making a salad, okay? And you need to have a mixture, okay, of all different ingredients. You need to have some, croutons. You need to have some, like, I love almonds in my salad. Not almonds, like cashews. Like, you want to put some lettuce. You want to put some romaine, some cheese. Like, so it's the same thing with your marketing. It's like some people don't want to do courses. Some people, like your lead magnet, they don't want to do lead magnets. They just think they know right away that they're going to be sold something, like get this for free. But so live videos, like connecting with your audience, email marketing. One of the best things you could do right now, it's a reactivation campaign that just says yes or no. Are you interested in learning more about my service? Like, it's like that alone, you'll get people that unsubscribe, but you also will get people right away. They're just like, great, I like this guy. He just wants to know, do I want to shit? No, I don't. Yes, I do. I want to learn more. Like, so a simple yes or no text message campaign. We use this right now during, like, once everyone gets back to school. Yes or no, do you want to learn more about our martial arts program? And that little yes or no, yes, you get 20 people to unsubscribe. But basically, really what you're in the business we all are in, is unqualifying and qualifying people. It's that simple. That's the business we're all in, right? So we can, like, you see these people like beating around the bush, like, yeah, hey, this Oris, that's a cool name. Hey, Oris, like, listen, with me, I don't sell anything, but tell me a little bit, like, everyone's selling something.
That's why, Nick, like, the people with that want to be in the harvest, like, people intro, and I'll be like, listen, I'll send them the video, explains what they do. It's like shit or get off the pot, because people, it's just like, it's almost like, I'm going to talk to you. Why? Because you're not going to make, it's like, no, if you're committed, you watch this video, it says everything we do, you're going to be in. Like, I'm not going to sit there and have this, how many times I wasted time with these people?
Oh, bro, I just can't wait to talk to you because
that's it. Send them the video.
Listen, I just want to know from Devin, how do I do this where I live? How are we going to do this together in Washington Township, or do I bring people to you? Because
everybody's from everywhere over here. We got people from all over the map.
I didn't even know that. I thought it was just
another question. Nick, by the way, post in the community. I know a lot of people probably have successful things that they've done at events, but remember, capture their information, right? Mm-hmm. So make sure you do that and drop that question in the group. Let's go to Matt, because I know Matt's a trainer. Matt April. So
real quick, Kelly, or whoever asked about the prize wheel or whatever. The best thing you could ever do outdoors is get the thinnest board and do board breaking. It's a thin board. It's a thin board. You write their name on it, right? And you keep the other half for you with their name and number. Like
that's creative.
You will have lines. And I mean, like, and it's basically a board that anybody could break. So it's not something like you can go, you gotta be careful on that one, because then you'll get mad at me. Because if you go to the lumber yard and you get these boards that are thick, like, trust me from experience, I've had kids try to break it, and then the next thing you know, they're crying. And I'm like, because it's the wrong. So you get get the one they use, but board breaking, yeah, that works. Everyone loves that. The prize wheel works out good. Sorry, I just want to add that, Devin. Next question.
Matt, let's hop up here, Mr. Trainer. This is gonna be good for you.
So Nick and Devin, guys, thank you so much. This was so powerful. I take a lot of pride in already gamifying that book that you had mentioned, Hooked. I read that 2 years ago, and it is so far. I second it. It was amazing. It was so great. But Nick, I really want to just follow up. I've been trying to figure out how to gamify in a way that I don't have to track, or my staff doesn't have to track. And so it's like this call was like an answer from the universe to hear from you, and to realize that this was actually a software that exists that I could take advantage of. So my question was, what ways does it tie into like any other systems? Do you have any other integrations? I know you heard talk about API. So do you like go high level or Twilio or anything like that?
I love it. Now I'm talking to a guy that speaks my language. Okay. So yes, number one, we have Twilio built into it. So you connect to your own text message account. go live, go high level. This will make that look like a used Honda. I'm very familiar with go high level, used it for a while. But you won't, like you're running a gym, Matt? Yeah, you won't, as far as the website's built into it. So your website's built into the software platform. It has text messaging, email, billing. Like we even have billing integration, appointment calendars, scheduling. This is a full stack software for gyms and coaches. So it has everything beyond what high level is. Project manager. I have an HR department. So if you're hiring people, firing people, it manages all that. Yeah, this is it's pretty wild, man. So the gamification, you'll love this one. Guess how much it is? Everything I just mentioned, 200 hours a month. The whole entire suite with the website, 200 hours a month. Yeah, man, it's a no brainer. I mean,
so if you're wondering why the hell didn't I listen, me and Nick talked about this a while ago. This is in the works for the harvest. So if you're wondering how the hell did you know all this and you're not thinking about doing it for the harvest, this is already in discussion. We've done a lot in a half a year. So bear with me. We have a lot of other cool things coming. But for the most part, this is one of the things in the future that we want to implement to continue.
Yeah, that's right. I'm actually forgetting because like I went to Devin about 3 months ago and I'm like, yo, man. So what I do, guys, is like, just to give you another idea, like with our background, me and Devin are making one just for you guys. Like, so I also white label, you know what I mean? So I build basically SaaS for other people and I show them how to do what I do. That's when I saw Devin, what he was doing, I'm like, yo, man, honestly, he has a 7-figure business right in front of him. It's not much. I mean, like there's a lot of different ways of doing it. So, I mean,
so even say people can white label with you, right?
Well, what we do is like, so there's 2 different ways.
So they know.
Yeah. So this is how it works, guys. Like there's sometimes what I explain to people is that might sound more attractive to you because you want to white label it. But here's the problem. Like you're going to need someone that has very high technology background, like a CTO, so to speak. Like if you white label it, that's not included. Like, so what I mean by that is say, let's just take, Matt, you know what I mean? You're like, yo, I want to sell this to to gym owners. Okay, cool. Well, it's only, this amount of dollars per month. But then the question is, who makes everything work on the back end together? And how do you bring it to market? You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's not solved with that. Now, some guys, like, for example, the way I came up, that is exactly how I got started. I white labeled like software 12 years ago, right? And I kept white labeling. It gave me a chance to practice to run a software company, right? So I figured from all those things how to do it. So sometimes what we do, like for Devin, for example, like we're going to build out, whatever he wants to call it, right? What he gets from me though, because I know Devin, he has no interest in doing what I do. He doesn't want to be in the back end making things and like onboarding people. Like he's a sales machine. Like he attracts people. He's an influencer. So that's how we do it. So it always depends on the situation for anybody, on your background and the variables. You know what I mean? So yes, Devin, like what we do is like for people that want to, SaaS is called software as a service, right? So basically we help people do that. So that's kind of another way, guys. Some people that have been in the business for 20 years, they might know a lot of people in that market. So it's a way of kind of, we could either partner or work together in several ways. That's what we do. So, yeah.
Well, listen, guys, I don't want to take too much of Nick's time. Nick, this was absolutely unbelievable. And when I put in the message in the community, you guys are getting $1 million of value. It is the truth, but you won't see $1 million if you don't execute and do this stuff at a high level. And that's also the truth. But Nick, this has just been unbelievable, dude. The stuff that you dropped, everything, man, you over-delivered as you always do. And I hope you guys all feel like this was definitely worth your time to hop on this Zoom. But remember, don't make this go to waste. Write even if it's just one thing down to take into your business. You got to execute on something, guys. So follow Nick, Coaching Boss, on Instagram. Hit him up, guys. Support him. Please share this. And again, like Nick said, to be a part of communities like this, to get the most out, guys, you got to contribute. If you've been in this community and have referred people in, you got to ask yourself that question. Am I contributing? Am I plugging in? So please be intentional with this and plug in so you can get the most out of this, because people's lives and businesses are being changed. So plug in, guys. Nick, thank you so much, man.
Hey, Devin, 2 things. I just wanted to get back to Matt, like you had said about the universe. I believe in that, because what I do is every night before I go to bed, what I say is connect me with someone that has that wants what I have. Like, it's okay to say that. right? Like you all offer a service, you all offer something, you offer a solution to a problem. So every night before I go to bed, one of the first things I say is, hey, connect me with those who need me, right? And I do that every day. And it just happens like this. Like, I think Devin and me are both kind of surprised. We didn't know it would be like this awesome. So like, we knew somebody would be interested in it. So it's even better than I anticipated, Devin. And the third thing second thing is, thank you so much. I have messages coming in. Indistractable, Matt. If you haven't heard Indistractable from Near IL.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I haven't read it, dude, but everybody refers to this book. That's another good one.
Yeah, it's really awesome. And like, that was really, that's like the URL talks, because here's the thing too, when you're talking about gamification, like right away, like the difference with you is you're gamifying things that people want. Like people don't want to be addicted to Facebook and others. That's what he teaches. Neural's teaching you like, that there's positives out of social media and stuff too. Anyway, Devin, yo, bro, I'll talk to you. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you. That was incredible.
Thanks, Dev.
Thank you.